This is Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Scottish welterweight John Thain. John, how are you?
Good, thanks. It's good to speak to you once again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I still remember being ringside when you were shamelessly robbed of your unbeaten record, and that must be about 8 years ago now.
Time flies. 8 years ago. I remember the moments. I was thinking of that the other day.
Yeah, Ronnie Heffron. No, not his fault, of course, but yeah, still the worst robbery I've ever seen from ringside. But what can you do?
He's a good guy, Ronnie.
Yeah.
I speak to him occasionally, and it's good. I wish him well.
Yeah, well, it wasn't down to him, but yeah,
no.
Lot of water under the bridge since then. Anyway, don't mean to start on a negative note. You've been out sparring Kell Brook in Future Ventura in Spain, obviously ahead of the big fight this weekend he's got with Amir Khan. Just I suppose, First of all, tell us how that all came about.
Well, I'd sparred at the Engle Gym just before Christmas with Bradley Skeet to help him for the fight with Shiraz. That's another story there. So we'll and it was great to meet everyone in the Engle camp, and then about New Year time I was approached online just to see if I could fly out there, and I thought, why not, because it'll be a great experience.
Yeah, and so you hadn't done any sparring with Kell directly in the Engle Gym before you flew out?
No, not really. We did like a footwork circuit like before Christmas, but I'd never boxed with him before. So I know. I think we did seven or so spars since that time though.
And presumably, it's a lot to do with your similarities to Amir Khan. You're tall, you're technically adept, you've got fast hands, of course. A lot of similarities there.
I think it's because Danny R wasn't available. Sorry, I'm okay. It was just. I think it was. I would like to think that for movement and for the jab and just to kind of. I think it's I was. Yeah, it was. I knew that sort of the plan for me in the spar was to kind of try and replicate the moving on the back foot and try to be quick.
Maybe they thought you were Danny R. It was just too late by the time you were out there.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh dear.
So how many rounds do you think you guys shared out in Future Ventura? And also just tell us what the facilities were like out there.
Oh, it's a brilliant gym. It's everything you need under one roof, and you probably heard that as well. Adam's got a fantastic facility out there. It's just you can cover all. I think strength and conditioning has become much more a factor in fighters' preparation these days, and having it all there in one place is ideal for a fighter, especially if they're living like minutes away from the place. They can just get everything done, get something to eat, recover, then go again pretty quickly. Sometimes when you've got training at different gyms, it's quite hard to sort of plan ahead everything, but everything's there.
And how many rounds did you guys do roughly?
I would usually do about 4 at a time, so I must have done. Plus, I wouldn't be the only one sparring. Sometimes I'd be like one of 2 or 1 or 3 guys, and I think I would do an average. I think on average it'd probably be like 4 or 5 rounds, and during a spar that I would do. Sometimes I would go in for stay in for those rounds, or I would maybe go like 1 in, 1 out, just sort of to keep him working, but to make sure that there would be. So it's all about Kell having fresh sparring partners in that can be fast and explosive, rather than maybe like someone that might tire, or so he needs someone that's sharp each round, to make sure that it's specifically what he needs.
And did you get a sense from those rounds what he plans to do against Amir Khan to counteract that speed and movement? Is he kind of being patient, working on cutting the ring off? Is he wading in for, planting his feet early? What impression did you get?
I got the impression that he's a fighter that's got, he's like at the highest level, the fighters that can control their pace and they can decide what they want to do during the round, change it up whenever he needs. So he's one of those fighters that sounds like a cliche, but he can really do it all. He can go in the front foot, the back foot. He can box in close range, mid range and close range. Very dangerous in those sort of ranges. So I would estimate that he would be wanting to make this fight in the mid range, as opposed to Amir wanting to be long range, back foot, maybe never holding his feet. But I always think that it's more in Amir's character to hold his feet and have a fight and to box on the back foot. Although he's very good at it, is actually something that goes against his nature emotionally. But technically, he's very good at it. But I think sometimes he wants to have a fight. I've seen it, like, and it's great for fight. It's great as a spectacle. He likes to hold his feet and have a fight.
And what about you when you were in there? I mean, were you forced to hold your feet at times? Because I imagine when, Brook's closing the ring off and stuff, even though it's only sparring, sometimes you're forced to stand in there and unload some of your own shots.
Yeah, that's where you give him credit, because he can make that happen. So that's something that I was told to not fight with him, to not fight and not have a fight. We were told to box and to you've nothing to prove. It was quite good. They were very good to me. They were really good to me. Out that was Dom and the team they were very close knit, and I think they've really come together for this. This is a big project for them. But move in and kind of for me it's my job. That's my bread and butter. So I always like to just try and use it and not really get too involved, because that's kind of where Kell can take over. He's so much stronger than I anticipated. Before we sparred, I knew that he was a welterweight, but I didn't realize how strong he is at the weight.
And you, as you said, you hadn't sparred him before, but you've sparred and been in the ring with some really, really good fighters. How does Kell kind of measure up to that?
He's probably the strongest welterweight I've been in with. I didn't realize that guys could be that kind of strength. And what I realized was, I think 12 rounds is a long time, and so I knew, knowing that I could be in there and I could spar it and I could be explosive at it. 12 rounds is a long time. You're going to have to. There's probably going to be a period in this fight where you have to fight, as opposed to just stick to your boxing. You have to hold your feet and you have to sort of fight your corner, sort of thing, as opposed to just like always having it your own way. It's a long time to have everything kind of, I think Amir's gonna have to fight at one point in this fight. I think that will suit Kell.
And I have to ask, because there's been a lot of speculation about this over the last couple of weeks about Kell's punch resistance. Is that anything you saw, any kind of frailties or vulnerabilities in that area while you were there?
Well, I think I landed a punch and you actually just said, "Well done." It wasn't. I think it was like,
that's deflating, isn't it?
It's like it made me miss like proper Queen, and I've never really saw anything. He's been fine, like with any sort of. I'm obviously not known for strength, and I think that he did bring in some bigger sparring partners in to test that, and I think everything, from what I heard, everything's cool. But he's brought in some bigger guys, which is quite a good thing to do, just to mix sparring up. Lighter guys for speed, of course, bigger guys for strength, and I think the rounds against, what I realized was for myself was the rounds felt longer with him. That's like he's got that kind of and I'm not just saying that's sometimes it's kind of you hear guys that they prompt between in the rounds during it's like a minute away. I'm like, oh, minute away, 2 minutes, a minute to go. I'm like, oh, hurry up! But it's like a sand timer. He's very good at sort of being intense and being on you and not but not wasting his energy. So that's something that comes with experience and being at the highest level. And I think that it was. He can take a punch and he doesn't mind fighting. I think this is the thing where Amir's going to look to box, and it suits him boxing. He might not want it. He might actually remember someone. I think someone saying it was like Gary Logan, and he was saying we were talking about Amir, and he was saying that it's like he can't resist, like when he sees an opening to go for it, and sometimes it serves him better to actually go in the back foot. But that's always made for great fights, because he does things that are kind of he likes to live dangerously. But to be in punching range with Kell is to live dangerously. And I think it's better. The longer the fight goes, I think Kell will get his timing a bit more. It might take a few rounds for him to do that though.
Just generally, how different is it going into a standard spar from being asked to do something specific or replicate a particular style?
It's more serious. It's more professional. You're there to kind of do a job, and it's a good question. Sometimes when I'm sparring, and it's more specific and it's very detailed. You think a lot more about your own work when you're kind of there and you're brought in more, and it's I think it was, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being part of it, and it was very nice. Like I've been involved in two recent camps. Bradley Skeet's camp for Hamza Shiraz. That was a great experience. And then this it was great for me just to be involved in that, and I wanted to prove that I belonged there. It sounds quite, it sounds like I wanted to test myself. I knew that I would find out a bit more about myself by being involved with these and seeing, because before I'd been involved in my own camps and sometimes occasional visits to other champions and sparring, but it's nice to see it like through the week what a fighter has to go through.
Let's talk about you and your career. We haven't seen you in the ring for 2 years now. You're still only 34. You look younger. Bit envious, to be honest. And obviously very skillful. You've never been stopped. You've got a good record. You've been in with some good fighters. There still seems to be potential there. Is there a plan?
I'm enjoying the training. I'm really enjoying the like just doing it for myself, and there's no pressure just now. But I do feel, yeah, it's funny because I remember saying something to a friend in the gym. Was like, there's stuff in the basement. And if you're a Rocky fan, you get it right away. But the person went, stuff in the bait. What are you talking about? Bodies? What equipment? What are you talking about? I went, no, I'm talking. Just no, leave it.
I like the bodies was his first guess.
Yeah, exactly. What are we talking about? Yeah, I was so yeah. I do feel that way. I just yeah, I do feel I'd love to have a run and get it and try and win the British title, because that's something I fought for once. And to do it again would be beautiful. It would be a great thing. It's just, yeah. So I'm enjoying my training. I've not really made a full-on decision what to do. I'm in two minds. I could stop boxing now, but I'd always feel like I've not completed the journey.
Well, surely getting in with kind of world-class or even fringe world-class fighters and holding your own, that's only going to encourage you to come back, because you're going to know you've got that potential still.
Exactly. That was it. That's what I wanted. I was doing lots of training towards the end of last year, and then it was me that actually asked Brad, can I come if you need the sparring, I will come down to you if that's okay. And he's become a great friend as well. I've become mates with my previous opponents, and we talked about our fight, and he was kind enough to bring me into that gym, and I feel like I've grown from that experience. So that was it for me. It was to test, do I still have what it takes? And I feel like I do. I feel like it's a positive feeling to have.
Well, let's hope people watching this who can make that a reality. We've nehave had more big time promoters in the UK. So
absolutely, boxing's it's massive just now. It's there were times that you'll have seen it yourself when boxing maybe took a bit of a back seat, and now it's pushing its way forward.
Yeah, it's when Adam Smith always talks about, when we used to go to the leisure centres and stuff, that I was covering most of those shows. So I didn't mind it. But obviously, you don't know any different at the time, do you?
Yeah, it was. Now it's like big arenas, massive. But it's good times. I think it's good times. I think fans are getting the chance to see these big fights as well, which is, I think the next 2 weekends are going to be big. Because you've got Josh the week after as well.
Are you going to be attending that one?
Yeah, hopefully I'm going to go there. I've not been to. I think the last time was at Josh's fight was Victor Postel. I think that was the last one, because I think that's a while ago now. But yeah, that was a great fight, great performance. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to this one. This good. It's this week and the week after. Brilliant times.
Oh, great stuff. Well, keep in touch, obviously, and let us know as things develop, because it would be great to see you have another run at it.
I'd love to have a run at it. It feels like it's something that would that was what the sparring was for me, because I was going there to do a job to help them, but then I wanted to see, can I do this? Can I because you can always say that you're doing, you can feel it, but sometimes you get more proof by going in there, and that was it was nice to come away with something with that for myself. Definitely.
Great stuff. Well, John, before I let you go, just tell all the fans watching out there how they can find you on social media, so they can find out when you do make that decision, if you do.
On Instagram, it's John Thain Boxing, and on Twitter, it's John_Thain. Not done this for a while. But yeah, so I'll try and keep more social active and keep everyone updated onto what's next for me. What I'm doing just now is I'm really enjoying training. This is and if things do come together properly, then I will be back.
Great stuff. John, really appreciate your time, mate. Been great to catch up, and yeah, let's do this again soon.
Thanks so much. Maybe like in not 8 years time, but like
no. Let's leave it a bit closer this time.
Will do. Thanks, honestly. I really appreciate you getting in touch. Thanks.
Cheers, mate.